Well, good morning, everybody. Certainly, I'm feeling a lot better today because self-isolation has finished for me. Jock and I went on a very long walk, our typical long walk that we used to do regularly. And before I get onto this article by John Farrak, which has obviously it's been out since the end of September, and I wanted to do a video about it then. Just didn't have the energy or really the time to do it. I wanted to just point out a couple of films that are well worth watching that I've watched over the last two nights. Two films that I actually watched on my way over to Australia. The first one, starring Johnny Depp, is called Black Mass. The Mass in this case, of course, though, is short for Massachusetts, because the film is set in the south side of Boston. Very gritty film, based on a true story. Incredible what the FBI were prepared to do. So definitely well worth a watch. And of course, the second one, sorry, just to point out, Black Mass, I noticed it was available on Netflix. It's the first time I've seen it available on Netflix, certainly here in the UK. The other one, like I've been out similar amount of time, Green Book. Brilliant film. You'll absolutely love Green Book. But of course, of all the Netflix series, Making a Murderer is their iconic offering. And here's John Farrak's thoughts on Making a Murderer. He wrote, "Is Making a Murderer Series 3 preoccupying Wisconsin's Supreme Court? The following opinion column is by John Farrak, a patch editor in Illinois who covered Stephen Avery's case, who is covering and wrote the brilliant book Wrecking Crew, and also loads and dozens of articles about the case for the Post-Crescent, including one of my favorites, Lack of Photographs, Mars, Halbach Investigation." Notice the registration number, MAM2. A pronouncement of a second wrongful conviction for Stephen Avery would give Wisconsin a disgraceful distinction of being the only state in the entire country with such a black mark, to have wrongfully convicted somebody twice. Wisconsin, despite the strong possibility, and I would say it's more than a possibility, of evidence tampering in Teresa Halbach's murder, Wisconsin's judges have yet to agree that convicted killer Stephen Avery and his lawyer, Kathleen Zellner, deserve a full-blown evidentiary hearing in front of a local judge, even though Zellner points to several examples of prosecutorial malfeasance by Special Prosecutor Ken Kratz during her client's first murder trial. Wisconsin's judges continue to agree they don't want to conduct a courtroom evidentiary hearing on that topic either. Now, while Kathleen Zellner maintains she has uncovered substantial evidence pointing to Bobby Dassey, one of Stephen Avery's nephews, Wisconsin's judges remain steadfast in their opposition to granting Zellner a public hearing in a Wisconsin courtroom. Let's not forget, it was Bobby Dassey's burn barrel, not Stephen Avery's, where the charred bones of Halbach were disposed. Zellner also has a witness who has identified Bobby Dassey as pushing Teresa's RAV4 after her disappearance on Halloween 2005. In 30 years of doing post-conviction work all over the United States, we have been granted evidentiary hearings in 99% of our cases, Zellner recently told me. The other 1% were denied and then reversed on appeal. My question is, why is Wisconsin so fearful of having a public hearing about the integrity of this conviction. And obviously, Kathleen Zellner's reenactment suggesting that Bobby Dassey was responsible for Teresa Halbach's murder. Zellner raises a great question. Why are all levels of Wisconsin's state judiciary in full agreement to deny Avery a chance at a new trial, or at minimum a chance to return to the Manitowoc County Courthouse, where Zellner can call witnesses and argue why her client's murder conviction needs to be overturned? The answer to that question may be a lot simpler than making a murderer sleuths from all across the globe realize. Simply, in the eyes of the Wisconsin Supreme Court, Avery's case may be all about stopping Making a Murderer 3 from airing. Next, we have an example of a tweet. Amazing article, John Farrack, telling it like it is, unlike 99% of the media who just parrot out mediocre case updates that convey nothing. If the judiciary is scared of a Making a Murderer 3, then we need John to keep reporting on this, because he's the only proper professional journalist doing their job properly. Hear, hear. The entire world saw the state of Wisconsin's judiciary on full display when Making a Murderer got released in December 2015. In October 2018, the world got another dose of reality when Making a Murderer 2 came out, making Kathleen Zellner the star of the second docuseries. Sip of coffee, I think. You can just imagine the reaction to the second season of Making a Murderer within Wisconsin small town courthouses and around Madison, the state capital, where the robes for Wisconsin Supreme Court justices are kept. And that's where the Wisconsin Supreme Court comes into play. Question: do you really think Wisconsin Supreme Court wants to make the bold declaration that Stephen Avery was the victim of not just one, but two state of Wisconsin wrongful convictions, both involving jury trials within Manitowoc County citizens? Do you firmly believe the Wisconsin Supreme Court wants to fall out of favor with the rest of Wisconsin's politicians and bureaucrats by giving the producers of Making a Murderer enough raw footage to compile a third season, one that is likely to be more compelling and dramatic than Making a Murderer Series 1 and 2 combined? A pronouncement of a second wrongful conviction for Avery would give Wisconsin a disgraceful distinction of being the only state in the entire country with such a black mark. We're missing the picture, but obviously we know that Steve and Alan and Sandy Greenman all together in a photograph. Sadly, Dolores, well, it says Dolores is smiling, but unfortunately she's no longer with us. The real reason why Avery may never get a courtroom evidentiary hearing, let alone a new trial, is because so many state of Wisconsin politicians, bureaucrats, and law enforcement officials, both retired and present day, Republican and Democrat, have made up their minds that this Making a Murderer hysteria needs to come to a crashing halt. Denying Avery access to an evidentiary hearing means the producers of Making a Murderer gain no new live courtroom footage to compile another Netflix series. That means no chance for the far-reaching Netflix audience to watch Zellner cross-examine and potentially, I don't think there's much doubt about this, rip to shreds the state of Wisconsin's star witnesses responsible for sending Avery off to prison for the rest of his life. You have to wonder whether the Wisconsin Supreme Court realizes there are too many skeletons in the closet in regard to Avery's case to open the door to the world. And I think that is getting close to Dave Bogotka's concerns about Manitowoc. I think she does realize what things are like within the club in Manitowoc. After all, making a murderer 3 could lead to making a murderer 4. Yeah, a series in which people such as Manitowoc County Sheriff's deputies, State of Wisconsin crime lab personnel, and perhaps even some of Avery's criminal prosecutors could find themselves as defendants in an inevitable Avery civil lawsuit seeking big damages, like in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Kathleen Zellner has never wavered in her belief in Stephen Avery's innocence. Image by John Farrak. And oh look, who have we got there? Emily Matasic. Wisconsin's, should we just call her this, the Ken Kratz parrot. Ken Kratz parrot. That's good. Wisconsin's Supreme Court justices are not idiots in regard to the worldwide impact of Avery's murder case. Wisconsin's justices know that if they rule in Avery's favor, people around the world will rejoice and Avery will be hailed as the greatest modern day hero for the wrongful conviction movement. But while the world still demands justice for Avery, Wisconsin's public officials and politicians appear ready to shut off the video cameras forever in regard to the Avery case and the Netflix series. And that's where the Wisconsin Supreme Court has a critical role. Giving Avery another chance to appear in court with Zellner, the nation's most renowned wrongful conviction lawyer, would give the producers of Making a Murderer a golden opportunity to score a touchdown with millions of loyal and dedicated fans across the globe. The simple and easy way to pull the plug on the Making a Murderer series in the eyes of the Wisconsin Supreme Court is to make sure Avery and Zellner lose their appeals at all levels now and forever. In the eyes of Wisconsin's, I refuse to use that word, legal system, there cannot and will not be a Making a Murderer 3. Doesn't it seem that way? That's a great article by John Farrak. Had the great pleasure of having him join me for a chat during our Keep Talking Till They're Walking. And also, I've always had this belief that once we get justice for Stephen Avery and Teresa Holbach, Brendan Dassey will obviously follow suit, but also let's never ever forget Ricky Hochstetler. John Farrak has done a lot of work studying Ricky Hochstetler's case as well, and I know that it would, not, you know, as much as we'd like to see, as we want to see Steve and Brendan free, getting justice in that case would give us just as much satisfaction. Anyway, I'm going to say cheerio. I've got some work to do. It's been good to get back doing videos, and I do want to do some more videos and basically keep talking till they're walking. So hopefully we'll. This will be the. I'll say this week has been the start of getting back to normal. I don't suppose it'll be too long before we'll have a look back at the Eric back catalogue, have a look at some of his his thoughts and videos. Anyway, great to see you. Catch you soon. Bye for now.